Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
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 Samaveta Bhakti-Vinod ki Jai.
Jai.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhuttame Srimade Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Srimyavadi Vastaja Deshatarine. So today we're continuing our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, entitled Cosmic Manifestation, Chapter 8, entitled Questions by King Parikshit, and we are on text 27. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Text 27, please repeat. Sutta Uvacha.
Sutta Uvacha.
Sutta Uvacha.
Sutta Uvacha.
Sa upamantrito rajya.
Sa upamantrito rajya.
Sa upamantrito rajya.
Sa upamantrito rajya.
Katayam iti satpate.
Katayam iti satpate.
Katayam iti satpate.
Katayam iti satpate.
Rama rato vrisham prito.
Rama rato
vrisham prito.
Rama rato vrisham prito.
Vishnu ratena samsadi.
Vishnu ratena samsadi.
Vishnu ratena samsadi.
Vishnu ratena samsadi.
Sa upamantrito rajya.
Sa upamantrito rajya.
Katayam iti satpate.
Katayam iti satpate.
Rama rato vrisham prito.
Rama rato vrisham prito.
Vishnu ratena samsadi.
Vishnu ratena samsadi.
Please chant.
Sam upamantrito yajna.
Saupamantrito rajda.
Katayam iti satpate.
Katayam
Svatena samsaditi
Vishnu
Ratena samsadi Sutavacha
Sutavacha
Sa upamantrito rajna
Saupamantrito Rajya
Patayamiti satpate
Patayamiti Satpate
Brahmarato brisamprito
Ramarato Vrishamrito
Vishnuratena samsadi
Vishnuratena Samsadi
Sutavacha
Saupamantrito Rajna
Saupamantrito Rajya
Patayamiti Satpate
Patayamiti satpate
Brahmarato Vrishamrito
Brahmarato brisamprito
Vishnuratena Samsade
Vishnuratena samsadi.
Okay, word for word synonyms, please repeat. Sutta Uvacha
Sutta Uvacha.
Srila Sutta Goswami said
Srila Sutta Goswami said,
Sa
Sa
He, Shukadev Goswami
He Goswami
Upamantrita
Upamantrita
thus being inquired
thus being inquired
Ragyan by the king
by the king
Kathayam
Kathayam
in the topics
in the topics
Iti thus
thus
Satpate
Satpate
of the highest truth
of the highest truth
Brahmarata
Brahmarata
Shukadev Goswami
Sukadeva Goswami
Risham very much Prita pleased Vishnu Ratena
Vishnuratena
by Maharaj Parikshit
by Maharaj Parikshit
Samsadi
Samsadi
in the meeting.
in the meeting.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sutta Goswami said, thus Shukadev Goswami, being invited by Maharaj Parikshit to speak on topics of the Lord Sri Krishna with the devotees, was very much pleased. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam can be legitimately discussed only among the devotees of the Lord. As the Bhagavad Gita was authoritatively discussed between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord and the devotee respectively, similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the postgraduate study of the Bhagavad Gita, can also be discussed between the scholars and devotees like Shukadev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. Otherwise, the real taste of the nectar cannot be relished. Shukadev Goswami was pleased with Maharaj Parikshit because he was not at all tired of hearing the topics of the Lord and was more and more anxious to hear them on and on with interest. Foolish interpreters unnecessarily tackle the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam when they have no access to the subject matter. There is no use in non-devotees meddling with the two topmost Vedic literatures, and therefore Shankara Acharya did not touch Srimad Bhagavatam for commentation. In his commentation on the Bhagavad Gita, Sripad Shankaracharya accepted Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but later on he commented from the impersonalist's view. But being conscious of his position, he did not comment on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Shukadev Goswami was protected by Lord Krishna, according to Brahma, by Varta Purana, and therefore he is known as Brahma Rata. And Srimad Parikshit Maharaj was protected by Vishnu, and thus he is known as Vishnu Rata. As devotees of the Lord, they are always protected by the Lord. It is clear also in this connection that a Vishnu Bhakta should hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Brahma Bhakta and no one else, because others misrepresent the transcendental knowledge and thus spoil one's valuable time. End of the purport. Translation again. Sutta Goswami said, thus Shukadeva Goswami, being invited by Maharaj Parikshit to speak on topics of the Lord Shri Krishna with the devotees, was very much pleased. So at this point, I'm sure many of us are going to start complaining that Prabhupada is really repeating himself in this chapter. How many times have we heard Prabhupada say in this chapter, in his purports, how many times have we heard him say, you have to hear from a bona fide pure devotee. Yeah. You cannot hear, you should not hear, thou shalt not hear from a professional reciter, from a impersonalist, from a materialist. How many times we've heard him say that only the real devotee can actually also hear. We're always complaining about the speaker. Oh, they're not bona fide. They're not a pure devotee. But Prabhupada's repeatedly making the point that one also has to be a properly situated devotee to hear. Now you might say, well, I'm not a pure devotee, so therefore I can't hear. No, but we want to become a pure devotee, therefore we can hear. We have so many faults, so many impurities, but if we want to be a pure devotee, then we can hear. In the first canto, Prabhupada uses this analogy. He says that for impregnation to occur, the man has to be potent and the woman has to be fertile. What if the woman is fertile but the man is impotent? Or the man is potent and the woman is infertile? There's no pregnancy there, right? Conception cannot take place. So for conception to take place, both simultaneously, the man has to be potent and the woman has to be fertile. Similarly, for the message of Srimad Bhagavatam to properly have its effect, and what is that effect? To make the Lord present. Why are we hearing and chanting? Why do we spend, hours a day chanting the Hare Krishna mantra? And so many minutes, if not hours of the day, hearing lectures, reading. Why are we doing that? Is it to pass time? Is it to just give us intellectual knowledge? Is it just to make us, feel peaceful? No, it's to invoke the presence of the Lord. We've heard repeatedly Prabhupada saying that the Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna. That he's actually present within every page of the book. But do we realize that? Just like Paramatma's in our heart, God's in our heart. So what? We don't realize it. We feel like we're just a dead stone. So, Prabhupada does repeat himself a lot in this chapter on this point, but there's a reason, and that's because we have to keep hearing it. Because tomorrow morning we'll come back to Bhagavatam class and we'll have to hear it again because we've lost sight, we've forgotten. So, what is it? So Prabhupada's repeatedly saying that you have to hear from a bona fide devotee. What is it that a bona fide devotee has, or is, or whatever? What is it about a pure devotee that makes hearing from them potent, whereas hearing from, materialist, a Maya body, whatever, doesn't produce that potency. Why do you have to go to a pure devotee to hear about Krishna? What is it about that pure devotee?
They also follow.
They have a spiritual
They
master.
also follow the sampradaya.
They follow the
They
sampradaya.
come from the lineage.
They come from the bona fide lineage.
Because
Prabhupada-
he's seen the truth.
because he's seen the truth.
Which
Those are
means
all-
Yeah, the transparent via medium.
He's the
Right.
transparent via medium. Those are all very good, correct answers. But this is what I'm looking for. Why is that person a bona fide, transparent medium? Why is he able to see the truth? Why have they accepted a spiritual master and therefore, represent the parampara? What is it about that person? They're surrendered. Why are they surrendered? We're getting warmer. Warmer, warmer, warmer. Why? What causes a person to surrender? What causes a person to accept a spiritual master? Distress may be a motive. Very good. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says there are indeed 4 people, classifications of people, that approach me, Krishna. And one is the person who's in distress. Because when you're in distress, you're looking for solutions, you're looking for shelter. A person who's in need of something like money, material stuff. A person who just wants knowledge. They're curious. What's this all about? Philosophy. And then the person who actually is interested in the absolute truth. What the pure devotee has that all those other personalities don't have, the Maya body, the materialist, is Shraddha, or faith. Because of faith, one approaches Krishna to be relieved of their distress. Like, let's say I'm having financial difficulty. I'm like really in dire straits financially. I'm not going to go to Bhakti Ann to solve my financial problems because I don't have faith that she's a millionaire. I don't have faith that she's like Mrs. Moneybags, that she's going to hand me, I'm going to go to Bill Gates because I have faith that he can afford to pay my bills. Right? So we approach Krishna when we're in distress. Krishna says, people who approach me because they're in distress, because they want something materially from me, like Santa Claus, they want knowledge, they're pious. You are a pious person if you come to church or temple or mosque or synagogue and ask God, give me, my dear Santa Claus, Supreme Personality of Santa Claus, please give me A, B, C, and D. Krishna says you're pious for doing that because you have faith that I can fulfill your desire. Why don't you go to Bhakta Paul with those desires? Because you don't have faith that he can fulfill those desires. But that's motivated faith. So when we come to the platform of actual bhakti, that faith is anyabilashita shunyam jnana karma jnanavritam anukulena krishna nushilanam bhaktir uttavar. That faith that's required to traverse the path of bhakti must be ananya, or pure, unmixed with karma, the desire for stuff, jnana, the desire for knowledge, etc. So why do we approach a pure devotee to hear Bhagavatam? Because of their level of faith. They have absolute pure, ananya shraddha, pure, shuddha shraddha. Their shraddha is not materially mixed. Many times we meet people, like when we're out on book distribution or whatever, out in the public, and we'll talk about faith in God. I have faith in God. I believe in God. Of course I believe in God. They're doing all sorts of sinful activities. They don't engage in devotional service. They don't chant the holy names of the Lord. They don't hear scripture. I believe in God. That's not Shraddha. Shraddha is actually very different than belief. I believe in Santa Claus. Ask a little kid. I believe in Santa Claus. I believe in the Tooth Fairy. Right? I believe that the $50,000 I'm spending at the university is going to give me a degree that's going to make me, happy and wealthy. People have belief in so many things. But that's just sentimentality. When somebody says, I believe in God, that's just sentimentality. But bhakti is not sentimentality. And we don't decry people who have sentiment, but that's so immature. That's like you're in kindergarten. Like you better advance to real Shraddha, because sentimentality is here today, gone tomorrow. It changes its flavor. One day I'm a Christian, the next day I'm a Muslim, the next day I'm an atheist, the next day I'm a Hindu. Like we change our hair color every other week. We just change our belief. So real Shraddha, when Bhagavatam speaks of Shraddha, it's talking about this Shraddha, Uttama, Ananya, for that Shraddha which makes us qualified for Ananya Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti. So, Shukadeva Goswami is very happy that Parikshit has made so many inquiries to him. A lot of times when people come to us with questions, we're like, oh, don't bother me with so many questions. I don't have time to answer these questions. Why don't you go look it up in a book or something, or Google Acharya or something, But Shukadeva Goswami is congratulating Parikshit Maharaj. Thank you for your questions. Your questions alone are auspicious because they're meant for the welfare of the world. I am so pleased with you. Just like you are asking questions on and on and on with undeterred enthusiasm, now I wish to answer your questions on and on and on with undeterred enthusiasm. And the reason they can do this is because they have pure faith in the sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is not different than Krishna. So our job in this lifetime is only one. We only have one job. Everything else we do is just to support that one job. Just like, why do we eat? Why do we eat anyway? Oh, because it tastes good, it's fun. No, we eat to maintain body and soul together. Because guess what happens if you don't eat? It's only a matter of time, you're going to die. Body doesn't last long without food and water. Yeah, don't try that experiment at home, but take it by faith. And if you don't eat or drink, you're going to die real soon. So the reason we eat is to keep this vehicle functioning properly so we can do devotional service. Just like you have an automobile, you change the oil, whatever it is that you do. Take care of maintain the engine, all those parts. Why? So that it runs really nicely and you can drive across country without fear that it's going to break down in the middle of the mountains or something. So everything we do is simply to facilitate our ability to engage in devotional service. So the faith is in devotional service. The faith is not in all these material arrangements. There's one nice verse in the 7th canto. 1 week from today is Nishringa Chaturdasi, the appearance day of Lord Nishringadev. So there's one nice verse spoken by Lord Nrsingadeva's devotee, Prahlad Maharaj. And I just wanted to read that verse. This is found in the 7th canto, 9th chapter, text 19. Prahlad says, "My Lord Nrsingadeva, O Supreme, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for by you cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child." And think about that, Maharani. You cannot protect your children. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient. And a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. So what does that mean? A father and mother can't protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient. And a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. So should we just throw away all the parents and the physicians and the medicine and the boats? The purport of Prahlad's prayer is that you, Nrsingadeva, you are the actual protector. You are the actual healer. You are the actual rescuer or savior. Not a boat, not medicine and physician, not parents. The faith of the devotee is in Krishna. When Prahlad was being tortured by his father, oh my gosh, so many tortures his father was having done to Prahlad through his agents, And what did Prahlad do? When Prahlad was being put in the fire, did he go, to Tractor Supply and buy one of those fireproof suits that cover you from head to foot to protect himself from the fire? When he was thrown off the mountain peak, did he go and get a safety net and a parachute to protect himself? No. What did Prahlad do?
All in the name of Hari.
Yes, he was thrown off the mountaintop and just said, whee, flying through the air. And he kept falling, and kept falling, and kept falling, and kept falling. It was a very tall mountain. He was picking up speed, You pick up speed as you go down. And the Lord didn't come and catch him. He was just free falling. And the velocity of his fall, he was speeding up. The Lord did not come to catch him. What would you do if that happened to you? You fell out of an airplane or something over the Atlantic Ocean. Your window just happened to bust open and you fell out of the airplane. And you're plummeting to your death in the Atlantic Ocean. And you're like, Krishna, Krishna, help me, protect me, save me, rescue me. Yes, Lord Krishna will protect me because I'm his devotee. Krishna will catch me. And you go 50% down. Uh-oh, Krishna hasn't caught me. You go 75% down. Uh-oh. And once you're 80% down, you're like, there's no Krishna. It's totally bogus. I've just been fed a bunch of lies. There's no real Krishna. What did Prahlad do? He didn't freak out at all. He didn't get into anxiety at all. He didn't question Krishna's existence at all. His faith did not waver. just like the flame of a candle in a windless place. When there's absolutely no movement of air, that candle flame looks like it's made out of stone, it doesn't move. Prahlad's faith was like that. Even he was plummeting to his death from the mountaintop. And just as he was about to be smashed on the boulders at the bottom of the mountain, Krishna came. When there was like this much room left before Prahlad's head smashed against the rocks, Krishna came, put his arms under Prahlad and caught him like a soft pillow. And Prahlad was not perspiring. He was not trembling. He was not having an anxiety attack or a cardiac arrest. He didn't faint. He wasn't shocked. He didn't suffer from trauma. He just landed in the Lord's hands like a soft pillow. Unwavering faith. That's the kind of faith we have to have, ultimately. We're light years away from it. We're like a zillion light years away from it when you analyze it. And you see this all the time. You get in the car, let's say, you're driving down the expressway and an accident, you can see an accident just happened in front of you and you're like, oh, you get all freaked out. Or somebody cuts you off and you get all freaked out. We don't have that faith. We aspire to have that faith, so that's really good. But our mission in life is to acquire that faith. So that takes practice. So it's not that every little thing that comes our way, we panic. We become paranoid. Because Krishna says, or it's said about Krishna, I should say, Mare Krishna, what's that word? Rake Krishna, Mare Ke. Meaning, if Krishna wants to finish you off, it's time for death, my dear friend. Nobody can protect you. And if Krishna wants to protect you, nobody can harm you or kill you. So devotees have to practice having that faith. It doesn't mean, oh, you know what I'm going to do to test my faith and to test Krishna's, promise to protect me? I'm going to go to Chicago and I'm going to go to like the worst, most dangerous, crime-ridden neighborhood in the city. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to walk down an unlit alley all by myself as a single woman, right? I'm going to walk down a dark alley in the worst neighborhood in Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not going to have any weapons on me. I'm not even going to have pepper spray. And Krishna will protect me. No, we don't challenge Krishna unnecessarily. Rather, we take to whatever material remedies are there, precautions, but our faith is in Krishna. We don't go overboard. To protect myself, I have to put 15 locks on the door. I have to have 44 guns and 2 tons of ammunition. I put a moat in front of my house with alligators and, towers with surveillance cameras. And you can do that, but where's your faith in Krishna? So this is the quality that Parikshit Maharaj has, is full faith in Krishna. And that's why Shukadeva Goswami is more than excited to answer his questions, because he's a bona fide disciple. So we'll stop there, see if anyone has any questions or if there's any discussion. Maharaj, first.
You said about faith, it's so difficult sometimes, years and years and years, and still, I'm talking for myself, I just freak out very fast, when any kind of incident happens. So, just by chanting and coming to the temple and being in association, still I find it hard, you know, by myself to see certain devotees suffering from certain diseases and why Krishna is not given that much bliss, you know, like that.
Faith in Krishna does not mean, this is a very common doubt raised by people. You know, like, for example, I know a woman who's undergoing a divorce. Her husband ran away and, you know, whatever. She's going through a divorce. So she said, I've been praying and praying and praying and praying and praying and praying and chanting and chanting and chanting and, you know, this and that to Krishna, that he'll bring my husband back, and, you know, and it didn't happen, and they actually got divorced. I mean, I guess it's already complete. And so now her faith in Krishna has decreased. Because she's like, I prayed like anything, I cried like anything, I chanted extra rounds, and he didn't bring my husband back. So now her faith in Krishna is weakened. Or look at that really nice devotee over there, but they're suffering like anything from some horrible disease, some cancer or something. Or, you know, they just lost, you know, their 2-year-old child just got run over by a car and died. How horrible is that? They're such a nice devotee. So that's not what faith in Krishna is about. Our faith in Krishna is not, if I have faith in Krishna, I'll never catch pneumonia, I'll never lose my money, I won't lose my loved one, I won't die of cancer or whatever. Faith in Krishna means, if I have faith in Krishna, then he's going to accept me into the spiritual world to be a part of his intimate entourage so that I can eternally engage in blissful devotional service. I have faith that that is my self-interest, my real self-interest, to become an intimate associate with Krishna, and that he's going to reciprocate with my desire. So that is a materialistically motivated neophyte Kanishta mentality, which 99% of religious people have. 99.5% of people that go to the temple, church, mosque, synagogue, whatever, that's the level of faith they have. That if I worship God, my mother will be cured of her cancer or something, and devotees won't suffer. Well, look at the Prabhupada's always saying, what are you talking about? Haven't you read Bhagavad Gita? Mahabharata? What happened to the Pandavas? Pure devotees of the Lord, they suffered like anything. In the 10th canto, he uses the example of Vasudeva and Devaki. They're not just pure devotees, they're the direct, biological, if you will, mother and father of God, of Krishna. And Krishna left their association on the very night he was born. And they were completely cheated out of the opportunity to raise Krishna as their child, although that was their prayer and intention for doing all those years, for 3 lifetimes, austerities, to get Krishna as their child. And they get Krishna as their child, and he runs away from them when he's 1 hour old. Never again to give them the opportunity to be in a parental, have that opportunity to raise them. So the devotees of Krishna may suffer like anything, but that's not a litmus test of, is Krishna real? Those tests, those sufferings, those challenges, those setbacks, material setbacks for devotees is an opportunity for them to increase their attachment to their faith in Krishna. Not to question, why did Krishna do that? Or why did not Krishna do this? It's not our position to question. So Vedanta Kripa, who had his hand up first, so we'll go in order.
Thank you for your emphasis on faith. I just remember how Srila Prabhupada had a funny definition of faith. Well, not funny, but I found it interesting. He said faith means firm faith. So I think that describes Srila Prabhupada, how firm his faith was in Krishna, and to accentuate your emphasis on that faith being so profound and pure devotee.
Right. Just like when we say devotee, we mean pure devotee. When we say bhakti, we mean ananya bhakti. When we say faith, we mean, firm faith. Not the faith of the neophyte, of the materially motivated devotee. Yes. Okay, Bhakti and her hand up.
Could you say the saying again?
Could I say what?
The Krishna.
Yeah, so Mare, Krishna, Rake, K. Rake means protection, Mare means killing. So, Mare Krishna, if Krishna wants to kill you, Rake K, no one's going to protect you. And Rake Krishna, if Krishna wants to protect you, Mare K, nobody can hurt you, kill you. Okay, Ati Sundari.
So to speak a little about my experience. I grew up in a deeply religious Christian family, Christian preachers. We were taught to ask God for everything. We prayed for everything. And my mother committed suicide. And she was just that disturbed, even though she asked God to relieve her suffering. And as I became Krishna conscious, I realized quickly that I pretty much stopped praying for anything. I figured I did not know at that point what was good for me, what was not good for me. And then I just prayed to be engaged in Krishna service. And now, like you said, I look at all my suffering as just an opportunity to serve Krishna.
Exactly. And Prabhupada did teach that if a devotee wants to ask for something, that they should preface their prayer with, "My dear Lord Krishna, if you so desire."
Because Krishna will give us whatever we want, and that's why we're here.
And we have to be careful.
I didn't know what was best for me.
Because let's say we are a devotee. Krishna likes to fulfill the desires of his devotees, his spiritual desires. But even devotees might have material desires. Prabhupada warns us in the 4th canto in the story of Dhruva Maharaj. He warns us that you better not approach Krishna with material desires because you may be obliged to accept in return. So Dhruva Maharaj, as hopefully we all know, prayed to have a kingdom better than his father, Uttanapad, and better even than Lord Brahma, who's the king of the whole universe. Dhruva said, I want a kingdom even better than that. And he went to the forest, performed all his austerities. Lord Vishnu came, after he chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya for so long, and Vishnu came and said, yes, my dear devotee, I'm here. Here I am. I'm ready to fulfill your desires. And Dhruva said, oh, no. I've been purified by chanting your name. And now that I see you in person, that's like having a diamond. And I can see that my material desire for a big kingdom was like a little tiny piece of broken glass compared to the huge diamond of having you in my vision. So no. I don't want no kingdom. I'm fine. But Lord Vishnu said, ultimately, Lord Vishnu said, yeah, but you desired it. That was your desire. I know your heart's desire. I'm going to give you the pole star, which is called Dhruva Loka. And you're going to reign there for 60,000 years, according to the years of demigods. So Dhruva was forced, if you will, to accept this big material position in the material world. And Prabhupada warns us in one of those purports, do not bring material desires to Krishna because you might be obliged to accept his material gift. And then you're going to be bummed out. Oh man, why did I ask for that? Now I have to stay here for so many years to live out that material benediction. I should have only asked for pure devotional service. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. No conditions. So we have to have that much faith that if I just ask for pure devotional service, I don't need to worry about anything else. And I may or may not become happy, materially. I may or may not become out of poverty. I may or may not become healed of my cancer. I may or may not become, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is just our prison term that we're, you're in prison for 50 years or 100 years and then you get out. Don't worry about the 50-year term in the prison. Just look at life beyond prison. Doesn't matter if you're a comfortable first-class prisoner or a more uncomfortable third-class prisoner. It's all the same. Wet stool, dry stool. Who cares? How would you like it today, ma'am? Wet stool or dry stool? What does it matter?
Right.
Okay, anything else? Otherwise we'll stop there.
Yeah.
Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.